Hi there yogis, welcome to day 21 of our Advent calendar of yoga. So today's practice is a really special winter solstice themed practice, and it's going to be a meditation slash visualization slash intention setting practice today. So some things you might want to hit pause in a moment and grab these things if you have them and if you want to use them. So I really like to use crystals and aromatherapy and lots of candles when it comes to things like ritual practices or kind of sacred days. So I've got, just keeping it simple because most people have this essential oil if you do own essential oils. So lavender essential oil. So I know it's quite a common oil and it's quite easy to overlook that it actually has these really quite magical and spiritual qualities. So lavender is a really good essential oil for new moon times, kind of sacred ritual times. It's very energetically clearing, obviously has those qualities for relaxation and for peace, has a very calming effect on the body and the mind. So grab yourself some lavender if you have access to that. And then a crystal of your choice, and you might have a favourite crystal that you use if you're into that kind of thing. So this kind of cosmic-y energy practice is really nice with things like amethyst, rose or clear quartz. So I've got myself a nice big chunk of amethyst there as well. So you might like to hold that during the meditation, you might just want it nearby. You might want to do this practice in front of an altar if you have such a thing. So before we begin, if you've got your lavender essential oil or something else that suits you better, it's just nice to bring something in to kind of awaken the senses. So I just normally put a drop into the palms of my hands, giving them a bit of a rub, and then just start to breathe the fragrance, the aroma of that essential oil in. So for this practice, I'm just going to place a little bit across the brow, connecting to the brow chakra. But you can place on your pulse point, so you might want to put some on your wrist, across your heart space, anywhere else that feels nice for you. And then we're going to come to a meditation posture of our choice. You're very welcome to do this lying down if you want to. Looking for that long spine, and if you feel the need for a bit of help with concentration, taking that mudra for concentration, index finger and thumb together, other three fingers falling away. So I just want you to sit for a few moments, start to drop in, anchor into your breath, start to shift from the outside world into your inner world. So winter solstice is the longest day of darkness. And that might seem like, a negative thing. It can make people quite down at this time of year. But what's really nice about the solstice, if you look at it on the flip side, is that from now onwards, the days are going to get longer, filled with more and more light. So we start to journey back towards the warmer, sunnier months. The other benefit of this darkest day, this shortest day of the year, is we can use that to our advantage. So we can use that to slow down, to retreat into ourselves and to be quiet and still, to take stock from the year and start to think towards the future. So the problem that we face in these busy modern times is that we are so out of sorts with nature. So even though this is the shortest day of the year, really lacking in light, we will still try and cram as much into this day as possible because that is what we're used to doing. We have so much artificial lighting and stimulus now that we can almost ignore the fact that there is that lack of light. Maybe we stay up just as late, stimulated by the technology, our to-do lists. And when do we ever give ourselves time for reflection, for self-inquiry, for manifestation? So many of these ancient practices are starting to get lost. Practices that can really, really help us stay balanced and well. So what I'd like you to encourage you to do is to start to look to nature more and try and allow nature to inspire us to what we might be doing, what maybe we should be doing at those times throughout the year. So winter is a time to restore and replenish. If you just look to the plants, to the trees, you can see that they no longer carry their leaves. They're bunkered down for the winter, and then they will start to prepare for their new growth in the spring. So that's what I'd like you to think about in this meditation. So I actually want you to picture yourself as a tree. Whatever type of tree resonates with you, try not to spend too long thinking about it. It can become a distraction. So choose a tree and imagine yourself in that way. And I want you to imagine that you are in this vast natural expanse. So there's other trees around you. Maybe even imagining or envisaging yourself surrounded in that blanket of snow like we had a week or so ago. And how quiet that scene is. So little movement, so little sound, just peace and stillness. So I want you to think about the leaves that you have lost. And let those leaves represent all the things that have taken place this year. So they all belong now to the past. You can even imagine yourself looking down and seeing those dead leaves along the ground, buried in the snow, starting to disintegrate, starting to reabsorb or be reabsorbed by the earth. So out of all these leaves, all these events, all these things, wishes, experiences throughout the year, ways that you felt, what are the things that you would like to just let go of? So you're happy to see them disintegrate and return to the earth. Happy for these to belong to the past. What are the things that you would like to see appear again next year? So what would you like to grow? What would you like to see blossom and flourish? Imagine that those things that you want to continue, that you want to grow, are the seeds that your tree, you as a tree, has dropped to the ground. And these seeds are welcomed by Mother Earth. She takes them in to to the soil, and she keeps them warm and safe. When the time is right and the conditions gather together, these seeds will begin to grow. So I want you to focus on two feelings if you can. So I want you to feel a sense of relief, a sense of letting go of those things that you have just acknowledged you want to leave to the past. I want you to also focus on a feeling of joy and wonder at the seeds that you have planted for next year. So just keep those feelings in your heart, breathing deeply, at the same time still picturing yourself as that tree. And then I'd like you to acknowledge now is that you can't do anything about those seeds at this stage. So we are in winter, nothing is growing, the conditions aren't there. It's just stillness and quiet. So as exciting as those ideas and those wishes for next year may be, it is not their time yet. Now is the time for stillness, for quiet, for renewal. So really trying to tune into that and give yourself permission to just do nothing, to just be like that tree in winter, content in the knowledge that one day these things will blossom and grow, and there will be abundance. But now is not that time. Now is the time for you to rest, restore, and replenish. So I would like you now to think about a couple of things that you can do the next few weeks, particularly if you have a holiday, if you have a break from your work. What can you do to honour this time of rest? What can you do to create space for stillness? Maybe we say no to more things. Maybe we don't plan to do so much. And maybe Christmas isn't the best time to redecorate, to reorganise, or to declutter. And we'll know when the time comes to begin to move more, to do more, because the days will begin to get lighter and longer and warmer. Growth will start to appear in the garden. Bird songs will appear louder. What I'd like you to do now is just bring yourself slowly out of your meditation, out of your visualization. And then what would be really nice to do if you have the time is to do some journaling now. So I'd like you to write down what happened in that visualization for you. So I'd like you to write down what were the leaves that you were happy to let go of, that you were happy to watch disintegrate back into the earth. And then what were the seeds that you wanted to see planted and blossoming next year and growing? And then what were the things that you could do to honour this time of rest and reflection? Okay, so journaling is really important because we have these really big insights in meditations and in our yoga practices and our visualizations, and at the time we think we're not going to forget them. They seem so tangible, they seem so powerful. And we know what it's like. You get back into your routine, you go back to work or just back into the busyness, and we do forget. That's the truth. So a journal is that little encouragement to yourself. You go back and you look and you go, oh, that's right, that's what I was meant to be doing. You know, those were the promises that I made. And it just brings us back into alignment with our truth, with what we've set ourselves to do. And just means that we don't get so caught up in, you know, the rest of what's going on outside of ourselves. So if you have got the time, find some beautiful notebook or a journal that you already use. Give yourself time, maybe go and make a nice cup of cacao or herbal tea, or drink some mulled wine or whatever, get some chocolate, mince pies. You know, get yourself really set up. If you want to draw from the visualization, if you like the imagery, you can draw, you can collage, you can make a mood board, whatever feels right for you. But please give yourself that time to do that today. And if you can, try and do the practice on solstice, just to make it a little bit more powerful. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed that. I'm wishing you a really, really peaceful solstice. And then in keeping with what we've looked at today, the practices now between now and Christmas Day are going to be super, super chilled, okay? So really honouring and connecting with the solstice this time of year, that deep, deep rest, okay? And it will also help if you've been running around trying to get all of your bits and pieces together before Christmas. Alright, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so, so much. Namaste.